are back with Eleanor Cohen, who today, and I'm so excited because today she's actually going to teach us how to take our online marketing game to the next level by taking it from hero to superhero. Yay!
Superhero.
So by now, you already have developed a rhythm in your business. You've been in business maybe a year or 2 years. People know about you. You've never really delved into online advertising or really into that much of a marketing strategy in general. But now you're comfortable enough to invest a little bit, but you want to find out where to invest and how to do it. Again, this is one of those topics that is daunting. And as a matter of fact, Eleanor, we're going through that too. I mean, Lady Savant Society has grown very organically. Somebody heard about it through somebody else and that's been awesome and it's great. But at one point in your business model and growth, you need to know, you need to learn how to take it to the next level correctly. So, Eleanor, how do you tell people, or how would you show someone how to grow their business and take it from where they're at successfully now to the next level? How do you tell them to do that?
That's a great question. It's very, very dependent on the type of business that they have. So any advice that I give today is kind of like generic, and what I've experienced is of the answers I receive from 80% of the entrepreneurs with whom I speak. So like you said, you already have a business, you already have some rhythm, you're earning some monthly income, consistent or not. Most entrepreneurs, most of their customers are referrals. Mm-hmm. They don't really do a lot of advertising. It's a lot of word of mouth. It grows organically, like you said. And then you reach a certain plateau. Mm-hmm. And they say, okay, now I want to grow. Tell me how I'm going to do it. And I say, okay, well, in order to grow, you have to tell me where you're at now, so we can set, realistic expectations. Like, you can't grow from, like, let's just say, if the list is your goal, you can't go from a 50 people list to 10,000 in 3 months. You have to know you can't grow from $3,000 of monthly sales to 12,000 in 6 months. It takes time. So where are you today? That is my first question. Tell me today, what is your monthly revenue? And they're like, 80% of people I speak to, 90% of the people I speak to, I don't know. Okay. Let me see your list of customers. Do you keep a list in some sort of CRM like Zoho or Salesforce? No. Excel? But how do you keep track of your sales? I have some orders in my email. I have some orders in my WhatsApp message. I have some Facebook. You need to the first thing I say, go home and make an Excel sheet, a simple Excel sheet. Customer, what they bought, how much they spent, and what month was it. So we can segment it by monthly revenues, the type of sales that you have, if you have different types of product, and what is the pricing, what is the average cost of sale. That is where I tell them where to start. Very easy, very simple. You need to have that. So I would encourage you, if you are starting out today, to just start a simple Excel sheet. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, anything exciting. If you have time to invest in a CRM system, customer relationship management system, go ahead. But it doesn't have to be fancy. As long as you're keeping track of it somehow, so that when you do want to grow, in order to grow, you have to know where you're starting.
Right.
Most people don't know that.
Right.
And then the next thing I say is, okay, let's talk about your target audience again. I love this question. Tell me about your target audience very, very, very specifically. By now, you should know your target audience. You've engaged with them. You know what questions they ask you. You know what their pain points are. So, for example, if you're a cake designer, your target audience, say moms between 35 and 40, and they live in the Bergen County area. I'm just making this up. And their pain point is never disappointing their child. They always want their child to have the happiest, most glamorous celebration for their birthday, and they will always want a really happy cake, and they want an amazing, amazing memory of it in their Instagram profile.
Right.
So they're a client that cares more about the look, less about the taste. You have to focus more on look and taste. And you have to be able to explain these things. And then I look at their infrastructure. My infrastructure is their Excel sheet. And if they have a list somewhere, saved somewhere, a list in MailChimp and Aweber, Constant Contact, something that, do they have some content that they share that is easily shared? Do they have a certain communication style do they consistently communicate with their clients? And again, where do most of their sales come from? And then we start mapping out the strategy based on all these things. We start mapping out the strategy. Who is your target audience? Where do they hang out? You should have this information by now. You should know, do they hang out mostly on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are you a B2B business? Are they on Instagram? And not every social media platform, for example, is the right one for every business. Twitter isn't necessarily right for Lady Savant, but it is for my business. And we really start with the strategy. Where we are, what is our current situation today, and how we're going to grow your business in the next year.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a ton of sense. And once you have that infrastructure, like how do you, it's, for instance, I'll give you an example for us. Learning the whole world of Facebook ads and following all the new rules and all that fun stuff. Do you have any tips on how to do that as well? Like, for instance, in Facebook, how to create ads easily, or does that make sense?
Easily? No.
No, it's never easy.
For learning any type of platform, again, you have to know yourself. Do you have the time to invest in learning a platform and doing it yourself? You might not. You might want to hire someone to do it for you.
Right.
And hire someone who maybe is a freelancer, not a big agency, because it will make more economic sense to you. And you have to set your goals. You want to build a list? Do you want to sell a product? What is it that you're trying to do? I don't recommend Facebook advertising for everyone. For some people, Google AdWords is more suitable because they have a range of products, because their monthly income is X, and because their average product sale is $500. So it makes sense. When you advertise, you put money in and you expect money to come back to you.
Right.
Otherwise, there's no reason to advertise. In terms of Facebook, yes, the algorithm changes all the time. The good thing about Facebook is that you can advertise to a certain radius of people around you.
Yeah.
And you can choose an audience based on their interest. With that said, Facebook has a lot of fake accounts. You have to do it in a very specific and measurable way. I start out really small. I choose one type of interest group, and I split the ads. I serve ads separately to mobile users versus desktop users. So I can see if my cost per click is higher here or there, where people are engaging more. It's really a lot about segmenting and doing things in a very specific and measurable way. And that brings me again, you have to have the infrastructure. If you want to advertise, you better make sure that you can measure the amount of money you're spending and the value that you're getting back from it. If you can't measure it, then do not advertise.
Right. No,
do not advertise.
Absolutely.
You will just be spending money. So I'll give you a really good example. I recently worked with a photojournalist. He's an amazing photographer in the Boston area. And he is a wedding photographer, but he has a journalistic background. So, his photographs are very, magazine-ish. And he has like 5 websites. And he's interested in optimizing and kind of growing his customer base from this one website. And so I said to him, so what are you doing with it? Are you doing anything? He's like, yeah, this company called me, and they said they do SEO. So and they said that they would do for $100 a month, and so that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, well, what are they doing for $100 a month? Are you getting new customers? Are you getting more traffic? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, but you don't know what they're doing? He's like, no, but I figured doing it and spending money is better than not doing it. I'm like, but you could be spending $100 on Facebook advertising, maybe getting new clients. Like, You have to have the infrastructure in place. In order to spend money, you have to make sure the money is coming back to you. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah.
So before you go on advertising, make sure you can measure it. I generally recommend maybe boosting some posts to your fans, because you're only going to get such small organic reach with just putting up the post on your business page. If you boost the post to your fans, and you create a post which directs them to your website and to your list, you could turn them into customers in your list, and they will maybe become your paying customers when you email them. There's a process that goes along with that.
Right. Your fans being the people that have liked your page.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it true that if you boost it to them, you have to boost it in a certain amount of dollars in order for all of them to see it? Is that true or no?
It depends how many fans you have. And yes.
You do. You just have to.
The more you pay. That's right. But it might not be true. It really is on a case-by-case basis, which is why you don't have to start with 20. You can boost it for 5. See what happens.
Right.
Measure it. And if it's successful, boost it for 10 because it was successful. And you have to find that success measure. Is it another person added to your list? Is it a sale? You have to make it really specific and measurable.
Right. Can we talk a little bit about Google AdWords?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very expensive.
So, I mean, if there's an AdWord, for instance, female networking organization, let's just use that as an example.
Like the Lady Savant?
Like the Lady Savant, right? Can only one company use that word, or how does that work? No, everybody can use, like multiple companies can use that word, right?
So Google AdWords is like an auction. Mm-hmm. Anybody can use any words, but it really is up to how you structure your account and how you set it up, and how much you bid to show up first, second, third, or fourth.
Got it.
Right? Or on the sidebar or on the top. Now, Google AdWords is really expensive. It is the most expensive advertising platform that I know.
Wow.
It's really expensive. The cost per clicks are really, really high, and it's very competitive. So unless you have a big budget to spend, and again, it's on a case-by-case basis, you will need a certain amount of budget to test, because your test could be that Google AdWords is not right for your business. But if you're adamant about testing it, you better make sure that you have a good test budget and that you can measure. So what happens is you create a campaign. Within a campaign, this is what's called an ad group. Mm-hmm. The ad group generally contains in it a bunch of keywords that belong to the same theme. Each ad group also has a bunch of ads associated with it. Right? So it's a very technical. The setup is very structured and technical, and I could do like 6 interviews just in Google AdWords.
I'm sure.
I used to manage like multi-million-dollar campaigns in online gaming in AdWords. And the more specific and niche you are with your keywords and your settings, the less you will pay and the more you will get back. But again, you have to understand your business. Like for Lady Savants, I honestly would not advertise in Google AdWords. I would just not. I think that you can test it, but understand that you might not get anything from it. And also you have to be really persistent, consistent, and patient.
Right.
Because you have to keep testing back and forth. Your ad copy might not be good, so you have to change it and test it again. The first order of business to get people to click on your ad. Let's just say you found your keyword, this is the keyword I have to advertise on. And you show an ad. Nobody clicks on the ad. So what also happens is you're assigned a quality score per ad. So if your ad is showing up a lot of times based on this keyword, but nobody's clicking on it, and you have a low click-through rate, that's the number of clicks divided by the number of impressions, which is the number of times your ad is showing. Oh, and you will be assigned a low quality score, which is similar to what Facebook is now doing is relevancy score with their ads. So it's all in this scoring system. So if you are receiving a low quality score, then your cost per click will be higher, and your impression share, the number of times your ad is showing, is going to be really low.
Got it.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to look at your campaign and be like, this didn't work. Which is what happens. Like people try for 2 weeks, like it's not working. But you have to be consistent, persistent, and measure it over time.
So you basically, that would be that would be something that you could include in your campaign once you have a lot of money and it's just, luxury advertising. It sounds like, right?
I mean, a lot
Not
of
for a brand new entrepreneur or someone that's maybe like in their first year going into their second year of business.
is
Sounds
now the Google introduced now, local listings. Like if you look for like a local business, and now they have advertising for local businesses. And I'm not sure how that is going, but
oh,
and they have a bunch of things. They have a click per call. Like if you're a local business, you can pay every time someone clicks. Because in mobile, when you have the search results show up, you can have a phone number next to it, and you can call, and you can pay based on that. But I think that Google AdWords is one of the most expensive platforms.
right.
And Facebook is getting more expensive, but it's still not as costly as AdWords. And then a bunch of other platforms are also rolling out. Instagram recently, and Pinterest now, and Twitter for a while. But not every platform is right for everyone. So I would generally, so someone who wants to pursue advertising, I would pursue one advertising channel at a time.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
And for the beginning entrepreneurs who just want to be everywhere in social media, I would say be realistic about the time. It takes time. You have to put in your calendar 2 hours, 3 times a week. I will be on social media. I would not pursue more than 2 social media sites because you have to be realistic with yourself. If it's just you, the Just Me company. If it's just you doing things like, when are you going to serve clients?
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much for all of that. That's amazing, savant wisdom. So, Eleanor, tell us a little bit about the Just Me company. I love your website. I think it's brilliant. I remember the first time I ever spoke to you was because you weren't even a lady savant yet, I just PM'd you because I loved how beautiful your website is and just the concept of the Just Me company. I was like, oh, that's a really cool name. Tell us a little bit about your business.
So I'm a marketing coach and strategist, and I really like working with creative women, helping them grow their businesses. And I found, again, that there's the 4 offerings that I have are really catered to the 4 types of audiences. The two main offerings are Zero to Hero, which I mentioned before, but that's really for the starting entrepreneur. And what I really wanted to do is, I came from my background is in customer acquisition for online gaming, which is one of the most lucrative industries, very hardcore, numbers-oriented, stressful, crazy, numbers-oriented, like all about sales type of industry. And that's where the core of my education came from. And I really wanted to stop working because it just wasn't fitting my lifestyle anymore. I wanted to stop working in this industry. It's full of righteous men also. I don't have a problem with men, but
Really?
yeah. And I'm a single mom, and I kind of wanted my lifestyle in business. I really enjoy this, digital marketing and helping businesses grow, but I really wanted to serve another type of customer, more creative women.
Yeah.
Women entrepreneurs like me, the Just Me company,
Yeah.
someone that I can easily relate to. And I know how overwhelming it could be. SEO, analytics, SEM, it's a bunch of dry topics with 1, 2, 3, 4 lists that are really overwhelming, especially for someone who is a creative and is less logic-oriented and more creation-oriented. I really wanted to inspire this feeling of like it's not that overwhelming. It can be simple. You just have to follow some steps in order to get there. And that's what the Zero to Hero package was created for, to take like the overwhelm out of it and just say, this is where you should start. I'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be very overwhelming. And then when someone gets to the Hero to Superhero package, they already have some groove happening. They know my traffic comes from here. I basically know where my customers are coming from if I have an Excel sheet. I know that I post on Facebook and I've boosted some posts and I've received some traffic. The most important thing is to engage with clients. I have this information. I know what's going on, and now I want to grow. How do I do that? And they are ready to take the time out. It's a lot of time. It's a year of work to get to their goal, but they also have the time to invest. It's a lot of working together. It's a lot of writing things down and things change all the time. Things manifest during this year, and there's a lot of realizations, and it's awesome. It's amazing. The other two packages that I offer are really for people who aren't ready to invest time or money. I have the Pick My Brain. The Pick My Brain solution, which is, you want to see what I'm about. Maybe you have some pressing question that you want answered, and you can totally, we can have like an hourly session, and I'll give you some consultation for an hour or two, however much you contract me out for, and, we can see where this takes us. And the other one is the story behind the numbers, because I have a very good balance of right brain and left brain. I'm always very creative, but I'm very driven by numbers and logic. So
awesome.
This is why I start with the Excel sheet and the numbers, because I want to see what your average monthly sales are, for example.
Yeah.
But I could take like any type of like bunch of information numbers and create like a nice visual explanation of it so it makes more sense for you. So I called it the story behind the numbers, because a lot of people are guided by intuition. I think my business is doing 5% of sales here, or I'm selling most of this product, and I take their numbers. I'm like, but you really sell mostly this, and this is what people mostly want. So why don't you promote that? If that's your biggest sell, you should promote that on your homepage.
And that's more than just marketing. I mean, that's really analyzing really hardcore data, it sounds like.
Well, marketing is providing data for the salespeople, right? So I'm providing the data for you, so you know how to sell it.
Right.
Marketing is very creative and numbers at the same time.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I'm all the creative. I hate the numbers. So I'm like,
I really need that balance. I like you can catch me like working on an Excel sheet like hours at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Well, Eleanor, thank you so much for, spending this hour with us. I know that, what you do is so important, and so many of our women need it, and sometimes it's, you just have to tell yourself it might be a tiny bit of investment, whether it's in time or money, but really where it gets you as far as your business, it's the return on the investment is so much more than, than when you obviously invested. It's so much higher. So thank you so much. I'm sure this will not be this last time that I get you here so we can pick your brain some more. But in the meantime, I hope everyone got a lot out of this. I'm sure you did. And until next time, thank you so much, Eleanor.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Ciao. See you next time. Bye.